Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell by the title, I am doing a video on do I have adult ADHD? Okay, so I have been putting off doing this video, and the thing is my husband said don't do a video if you don't want to do a video, and I don't think it's that. I think I'm a little bit worried about maybe what people might say, or you know, I haven't told all of our family yet or anything like that that this is something that is happening, and so it's a little bit daunting putting this video out, but I also feel like it's really important for me. It's important for me to feel like I can share and maybe even help someone else out who's thinking, you know, do I have this? Or the thing is that I didn't even know, I guess naively, I didn't even ever think that adults even had ADHD. And you hear about it happening in children, and then of course those children become adults, so maybe that was a stupid thing to think, like that adults wouldn't have it. But, and I also suppose that naively I've always thought ADHD looks like a child who's bouncing off the walls, who kind of can't calm down and whatever. So whereas it's a lot more complex than that, obviously. But I suppose if you don't know anyone with ADHD, or you've never really heard much about it, then you wouldn't really know what the symptoms are. But we have been looking into a few things because Ethan, my eldest son, has had a few struggles at school with concentrating, etc., and it was kind of pointed out to me, oh, maybe he might have ADHD. So I thought I would just do some of my own research, and only on like Australian proper websites, not Google Doctor, all that. You know, sometimes you can look online and get totally different information, so I wanted to only look it up on yeah, like reputable, proper government doctor websites that were Australian, because we're in Australia obviously. And so yeah, I did a little bit of research for him, and we're going to see a pediatrician for him, and you know, he was born preemie and all of that, so there's a whole heap of things that, you know, but yeah, just mainly for help for us so that we can help him. But in reading up about it, I came across a couple of links down the bottom to click on, and it was adults with ADHD, and it kind of like, it shocked me, and I thought, oh, adults have ADHD. Oh. And then, like I said before, it was like, oh, of course adults have it because children have it and they become adults. So anyway, I thought I would read out a few things, because as I looked, I've just got my phone here just to help me because I can't remember everything. It was actually crazy because as I was reading through some of these symptoms and what adult ADHD generally looks like, I was very struck with, oh my gosh, this sounds like me. It was almost like, I was like, don't get upset. It was almost like looking in a mirror, and I'm not sure if I've even shared on my channel before my struggles with depression and anxiety, which has come and gone over the years, and I guess with the more kids I've had, the more stressed I've been, and with moving interstate away from family, etc., etc., there's all kinds of things that can trigger it. But you know, I have been medicated and not medicated for anxiety and or depression over the years, and it never seems to work. Like, it never seems to really help me. And then you go back to your doctor and they're like, oh, maybe we should up your dose and all of that stuff. And every time I go and see like a counsellor or whatever, like, which I haven't for a long time, but over the years I have, I'm like, I don't want to keep, you know, talking about the past and whatever. It doesn't seem to help me. And as I was reading all these symptoms, it was like, oh my gosh, this could be me. This could be me. So I've actually gone to my GP and spoken to her, and she did the test that they can do, which just, it's a pretty general test. GPs can't diagnose it, so she has made an appointment for me to go and see a psychiatrist, because they're the ones who can actually diagnose it. But from this test that I did with her, she said, look, it looks highly likely that this is something that you could have. And from reading online, it says that adult ADHD is actually quite self-diagnosable. Like, you can't obviously properly diagnose yourself, but by reading it as an adult, you can pretty much have a good idea whether or not this sounds like it could be you or not, and then seek the extra help, go the extra steps to find out if it actually is something that you've got. So I thought I would read out some of these symptoms to you, and just kind of, yeah, just, I suppose, get out all of my thoughts and feelings on it, because I feel like I've got no one to talk to really about this. No one really understands. My husband does think, he said, gosh, it does sound a lot like you. And I think it can be quite scary if you don't have anyone you feel you can talk to, or you're too scared to talk to people, because as soon as you say ADHD, it's almost like this stigma. Like, if you tell people you've got anxiety or depression, like, sometimes people just, you know, don't cope with it, or, you know, being a person who does suffer from it, you're too embarrassed or nervous to talk to other people about it for their reaction and what it might be and how they might judge you or perceive you from then on in. So anyway, there's a couple of different types of ADHD, but I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the behaviours and things like that that can kind of, and they say that everyone kind of has, you know, you might be watching this video and think, oh my gosh, a few of them, you know, applied to me. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean you've got ADHD. If a lot of them sound like you, then that's when it's something that, you know, you might want to look more into. So that's, yeah. By the way, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. This is just me sharing my feelings and thoughts and, you know, what I've read. So, but I just thought that it would be good for me to capture this, so that, one, I can look back on it and, you know, just kind of keep track of my journey through this. So once I see the, you know, psychiatrist, I'll have something else to share. And, you know, and I suppose any behavioural therapies, if I do have it, that I learn, or medications, or just other stuff, I thought it'd be good for me to share it. It might help someone else. I couldn't actually find any videos on YouTube of anyone talking about, could I have this? There's a couple of people, you know, who are doing quite awesome channels on ADHD, and they seem to have medical professionals and stuff like that who are backing their channels, which is amazing, and they're great resources. I'll actually put some of their channels down below. I can't quite remember what they're called on the top of my head, but I'll put them down below if you want to check them out, because I've found them really awesome. But yeah, not someone talking about it from a general sense. So yeah, anyway, here we go. So inattentive behaviours, so attention, says, does not seem to hear you when you ask them to do something, needing to ask a number of times to get a response. That's me. Sometimes my husband will say, are you listening to me? Like, are you? And I find it so hard to focus and really, like, he'll be talking to me and I'm trying to listen, but there's a billion ideas in my head, there's things going on and I can't focus. Next one, difficulty absorbing and remembering spoken information, example, instructions given in work meetings or whatever. Difficulty remembering names at work or even social events. It says difficulty keeping attention on the task at hand, resulting in slow pace of work, unfinished tasks, or sloppy, careless work. It says easily distracted by noise and activity or by own thoughts. For me, it's more my own thoughts. It's just never stops. Not following through on what has been asked despite agreeing to do so. Example, paying a bill, picking up groceries, hanging up washing, booking a meeting room. That's me. Oh, that's Grace. I'll just go grab her. Okay, so Grace is going to join me just for the next bit. I just want to get this done. So hopefully I don't get too distracted. Losing important belongings. Example, wallet, phone, keys, credit card, tax receipts, all the time. I'm like, how can I not remember that? And I know a lot of people lose their keys and stuff all the time, but I literally, like, I will have just had it and then it's gone. And I'm like, where did it go? Focusing better on mentally challenging tasks in the quiet of night, hence staying up too late to get things done. Yes. Difficulty remembering to do things at a future date. Example, servicing the car next week, attending an appointment. Yes. So even if I write it down, I tend to lose the pieces of paper or, pardon you, or can't remember where I've put things or written things. I've tried calendars on the wall. I've tried daily planners, all kinds of different weekly planners, things like that. Yeah, anyway. This is a bad one that I do tend to do, is leaving doors and windows unlocked, appliances or lights turned on. Simon always says he feels like he's just following me around the house, turning things off and making sure things are locked before we leave. For me, it's extreme levels, and I've actually, pretty much after how I've had each child, I've gone to the doctors and said, could I have like early onset Alzheimer's, like losing my memory, like dementia. And they all kind of laugh, ha ha ha, you're a mum, like, you know, all this stuff. For me, it's like, it's really frustrating. I've got so many things in my head all the time. They do say they generally have, you know, creative people will have ADHD because, you know, your mind's always kind of going and getting more ideas and, you know. Anyway, the next section is on organising and planning. So kind of I was talking about a little bit of that before. Difficulty prioritising tasks, not knowing which one to do first. That's probably one of the biggest things. When I read that, I was like, wow, that's me. 100%. Problematic procrastination regarding activities that are uninteresting or challenging. Example, putting off phone calls, household tasks, writing an essay or report, etc., etc. Yes, 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 that is me. I am the queen of procrastination, and yeah. Enough said, I think. Oh, messy and disorganised house. Example, drawers and cupboard doors left open. Piles of clean and dirty clothing heaped together on the floor. I'm not usually like that, but I do have, like, the dirty stuff will be in one pile. And not unpacked suitcase from last month's holiday. Yeah, usually whenever I go to Adelaide for family trips, the suitcase will sit there for quite a number of weeks before I get around to it. And it's usually Simon going, okay, I'll help you, let's get this done. So yeah, that's me. Hey guys, as I'm sitting here editing this, I'm realizing that this is a much longer video than I first anticipated, and so I'm going to cut it into 2 parts here. So I'm going to leave it here and then pick up again in a part 2. So watch out for that video. It will be up quite soon. Hope you guys are enjoying watching this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye guys. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this one as well. And now we've got the day and night cream. The day cream I really, really, really love.